So it's very, very important when you're conversing with people, ask discovery questions. This is how you also connect with people. So what is your biggest challenge in this regard? What exactly are you looking for? Do you see how this experience is created by you serving? And it's still going back to this point that we've been making consistently. And she came to me, and literally as she was walking up to me, she just started tearing up. You don't say things like, oh, I'm just checking in if you've made a decision. We do not say that. And this is very, very important. And this path makes the client sell themselves, okay? Hello, Resonate community, and welcome to the best and the biggest sales and entrepreneurship podcast in the whole wide world. Now, here's the thing. You're always selling. Every single thing we do in our lives, at some point, we intersect with sales, whether it is trying to convince a toddler to go to school or to tie her laces, or trying to convince your partner to go to a certain place for date night, or trying to convince your boss that you are due for an upgrade or a promotion, or just trying to convince your parents that you should go a different direction versus what they had in mind for you. Every single time we are trying to negotiate our way to a different decision, we intersect with sales. And today we are going to be talking about mastering sales 101. And I'm going to be sharing authentic techniques that you can use to close more deals. Now, these are for business, but you can also use them in your personal life and thank me later because they absolutely work. So today I'm going to be showing you these authentic techniques to close more deals in 2025 without being pushy, without being fake or desperate, because I know that is the biggest fear that a lot of people have. Every time we talk about selling, people think, oh my God, I look and I feel so desperate when I'm selling, or pushy, or like I'm annoying people, or, it's just not a great feeling. And I can assure you that selling feels inauthentic when you're not doing it the right way. And today I'm going to give you techniques that are going to allow you to create a process out of sales that ensures that you not only make the money, but you build the networks and the connections that are going to help you grow your business and scale beyond what you can even imagine. It's time for YX25, the ultimate celebration for youth, music, fashion, and the hustle that never sleeps until we've achieved our dreams. On the 4th of October 2025, 12 p.m., YX25 by Nedbank is opening doors to an experience of a lifetime at the Constitution Hill in Johannesburg. This isn't just any concert. We're turning the spotlight on the 10 incredible YX finalists and crowning the 2025 Youth X Awards winner. That's something we want to be part of celebrating. Young people in South Africa giving their business dreams a chance with YX25 by Nedbank. Between award moments, you'll be enjoying a 12-hour shutdown experience of live music, content zones, and performances from DJ Maporisa, Nasty C, and other fire artists. Even better, if you're a Nedbank card holder, you get ticket discounts and more at YX25. So grab your crew, plan your trip. The link is below and get your tickets. The first point I'm going to be sharing with you guys today on how you're going to build the structure, okay, is you're going to start building relationship with authentic customer service. I know it's not the go get up and make 20 calls conversation that we have all the time, but I need you to realize that building great sales and mastering them starts with the best and the greatest customer service. So when people dial their phones to call you, when they inquire based on what it is that you provide, how do they experience you? How are you answering the phone? When I was in sales in the corporate space, one of the things that they taught us quite often is that every time you answer the phone, especially if you are trying for somebody to buy something, every time you answer the phone, you need to open your mouth wide and greet people with excitement. Good morning. How are you? How's everything? It's so lovely to hear from you. Be concise and let people hear and connect with you from your voice. And especially when you're on the phone, you realize that you become like a radio presenter where we must hear every single expression because we can't see you. So we need to hear you when you smile. And we also need to hear you when you are being serious hilarious and when you're being concise. So those small little techniques actually help you. And this is how you start developing that customer service to be able to master sales. If it's via email, how are your emails? Are you warm in your tone? Are you somebody that greets people? Do you know, I know it's like silly things like yours in momentum, yours in XYZ, whatever it is, but you need to curate a warm tone, especially for people that are encountering you for the first time, that enables them to connect with you and connect with you in a deeper level that allows them to trust you even further. So it is important that you realize that selling is just no longer a transaction. It has to be an experience. And if you're a small business, you don't have the liberty of paying 20,000 people and train them to build this experience. And if you do, call me. But if you're a small business, you don't have that liberty. So it means that you have to be the experience. The interaction that people have with you when they come through those doors has to be an experience in a way that then allows them to buy and to trust from you so you can master your sales. So it's very, very important when you're conversing with people, ask discovery questions. This is how you also connect with people. There's a saying in sales that whoever is talking the most has lost the deal. So if you are the salesperson and you want somebody to buy from you, if you are the one doing so much of the talking within the interaction, you must know that that person is not going to buy from you, or high chances are they're not going to buy from you. An interaction that leads to a sale and that leads to great customer service is you as the person that is selling asking a lot of questions. So what is your biggest challenge in this regard? What exactly are you looking for? If you were to look at these four, if you were to, let's say, ask different questions that are going to be fitting for your industry, but that addresses the specific needs that that person have, what are the biggest four qualities you're looking for in this product? What is the end goal for you if you were to interact somebody who were to help you solve the problem that you have? Those are questions you ask a client, and you allow the person that you are then interfacing with to ramble and to answer, to give different examples, etc. Because that way we get to not only build great customer service, but we build connections and relationships, because in there you'll be able to answer them in a way that is directed to how you would be able to solve the problems. Do you see how this experience is created by you serving? And it's still going back to this point that we've been making consistently through the rest of this month. And part of building relationships with authentic customer service is practicing proactive listening. Proactive listening is also being very attentive. One of the things that I used to do very often when I used to be in sales in the corporate sector, and I still do it to this day, whenever I'm interacting with a client over the phone or even in person, I write things down, write key things that you are hearing from the clients that will help you even present the solution even better. That is what proactive listening is, and being able to summarize their pain point and repeating it back to them to make sure that they have thoroughly been heard. I think sometimes it's important that our clients feel heard, because you are dealing with a human being that has emotion. So no matter how best you could be at solving their problem, if they don't feel heard and they don't feel like you understand their problem, it becomes even harder to convince them that you have the solution for that specific problem. So it becomes very, very important. So instead of saying, here's my product, think about saying things along the lines of, here's how I can solve your problem, or here's how XYZ that we have can solve this problem to give you this result. Best customer service. This is how you also build reviews as well. When you have great customer service, a lot of people would be willing to talk about you. A lot of people would be willing to actually tell other people about the work that you do so that you can get more clients. And this is the start of mastering sales. Every time we talk about pipeline and all the other steps that I'm going to share with you, I need you to know that this is the very step of how you're going to get it right, because you can do so many Facebook ads. You can do so many things, and those things are amazing. But then once people come into the business and they experience terrible service, or you actually don't ask the right questions and you don't build the interaction in a way that is helpful to you mastering sales and to those people buying from you, it means whatever it is that we're going to do is not going to work, because you're going to have a client unsatisfied. You're going to have a client walking away thinking, oh, what a waste of time. I was not fully happy. The customer service was terrible. They responded late, whatever the case is. And we don't want that for you. So this is the start and the very beginning of how you're going to build this for your business. All right. And then the second one, this is something that, this was for me, I think, a big aha moment to this point. And it really inspired me to drill this point a little further. Okay. The second point is follow-ups and the tools you're going to use to follow ups. So I had the privilege of speaking and having the final conversation at the Agenda Women Summit 2025. It happens in South Africa. This was their 7th year, and it's by a woman I truly admire, and that has been such a big catalyst in my journey. Her name is Nomndeni Mdaki. We've had had her on the podcast, and a lot of people loved her podcast episode. And after we were done, there's a young lady that came, and if you're watching, I want you to know you had my heart and you moved something in me so much. So this young lady came to me. Her name is Tandega, and she owns a hair company. And she came to me, and literally as she was walking up to me, she just started tearing up. And she basically was giving me feedback saying that her business was so transformed and changed by a video that I filmed and I shared online that helped her learn how to follow up better. And she said that she actually realized after implementing the things I shared in that video that she had been losing so many clients because she was not following up and not following up the right way. And she would get in touch with clients, and some of those clients were saying things like, "Oh, we actually wanted to work with you, but you went quiet on us. So we just thought that maybe you would, go or move away or no longer just cater to us the way that we needed to." And it's so important. And I think for me, that's inspired me so much. Thank you so much, Tandega, for sharing that feedback with me. But it also heightened how important it is for a lot of business owners to do the follow-up. The follow-up is not only for you to get the sale or to master the sale, but it also for the other person to know that, hey, this person I inquired at really cares about me. They want to serve me and they want to hear more about what I think about what they presented for me. So as much as it is for you, it is also for the other person, which is very, very important. Stats say that 80% of sales require 5+ follow-ups, okay? Yet 44% of sales rep, they give up after the first follow-up. So if you follow up the first time and somebody says, "Hey, I'm still trying to decide and I'm not too sure yet," and then you go and then you get discouraged. And after you get discouraged, you don't come back to follow up again. Whereas they could be right. They just need a bit more time. Whereas you just need to follow up again and again and again. And I think the big disconnect there is how to actually follow up in a way, once again, that does not make you pushy or desperate, or that just does not make you feel like you are being, or make you feel uncomfortable, rather, to make it easier. It's very important that when you follow up, you don't say things like, "Oh, I'm just checking in if you've made a decision." We do not say that. What we do when we follow up is we tie something that reminds us of the client or the problem that they have to create a conversation that helps us follow up. So for instance, instead of saying just checking in, you'll give them a call and say, "Hi, Michelle, I was just watching a YouTube video and I actually thought of you." Or you say, "Hi, Michelle, I just finished a client call right now and I just thought of you because I had a client who was actually giving me great feedback around something that we helped them with and they had the similar problem that you have. And I'm wondering if you've had a time to think about it so we can actually get started to ensure that we help you solve that problem or to ensure that we help you get to the next level." That follow-up is very thoughtful. It's very warm. It's very conversational. And maybe if they say something along the lines of, "Oh, yes, I have. I just haven't made a decision," you might want to respond back by saying, "Oh, okay, I can totally understand," but you don't finish the conversation there. What you want to then lead up with is, could there be something that is holding you back from making the decision that I can help you conquer? So what is it? Is it, you don't say what is it, but the sentence I mentioned is what you need to say, okay? So you're trying to find out, is it pricing? Are they waiting for a partner or somebody in their lives to okay the decision? What is it? Because maybe if they're waiting for their husband or their partner to okay the decision, you might say, "Would it help me if I got on a call with you and your husband and we can go through the solution together to see if it would be a good fit for the both of you?" You're now helping them get over the hurdle of that specific thing that is holding them back from making that decision and from actually buying from you. You're becoming very helpful. You want the sale, and that's why you're being helpful. But more than anything, it's going to help them a lot. I used to do this a lot when I was a wedding planner. I would obviously want to engage my clients more because you must understand that sometimes if you're selling something that is high-end priced, some people might not be able to make the decision themselves and they might need buy-in of the different people in their lives. So you want to also cater to that. What is it? Is it a price point? Would you like us to sit down and break down what your budget could potentially be and how I can come in to assist you navigate this? Would you maybe consider a payment plan? But you're now offering solutions so you can close the deal. And that is what following up actually is. And these sentences I'm giving you are essentially the tools that you need to do this. There are other tools, for instance, like sending a voice note to say, "Hi, Michelle, I just thought of you and got so excited after our call on Monday last week when we spoke about what we could be offering. And I'm wondering if you've had a moment to have a look because I can't wait to assist you." Those are things that you'd be able to say to your clients, especially if you guys had such an amazing conversation talking about this thing. But just checking if you want it or not might not surface it. So it's very, very important. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Find cues of connection that helps you follow up and that says to the other person, they actually care about me and they don't just want me as a sale, but they want to continue to build a relationship with me, which is going to be important. The third point I'm going to be sharing with you that's going to help you master your sales and might also work as an authentic technique to help you sell more this year is going to be personal brand and social selling. There's a stat that says 72% of B2B buyers use social media to inform purchase decisions. So, back in the day, we would obviously look for your website and there is still so much value in that in a lot of other industries. But social media allows the quick engagement to see when did this person post? When last did they post? How frequent did they post? What do people say in their comment section? That also helps people make a buying decision. If, for instance, people go on your social media and they see, okay, not many people are interacting with you, they might be a little bit more skeptical. Or you last posted 2 months ago, but you want them to spend 10,000 with you, they might be a little bit more skeptical because we want to buy from people that are absolutely present, because the more present somebody is, it tells us that, okay, should I encounter an issue with interacting with them or with transacting with them, they would be much more quicker to respond. So it's very, very important that you build a personal brand, and you might not have the personal brand on the lock right now, but the fact that you are building means that that person will be able to trust you, to know that you would be able to respond and be agile and be efficient within the communication that you have with them. And this is very important because people buy from people that they trust, and this is something we talk a lot about on this podcast and on this channel. So your posts basically equals to your pre-sales conversations. So what are people saying? What are the reviews coming? You might post the products that you've sold in the past and your old clients come on there and they say, "Oh my God, this was amazing. Thank you so much for creating this product. Thank you so much for this course. Thank you so much for this." That is proof, and that helps you build the brand. That helps you build the perception. And this essentially becomes your way of social selling. So it's very, very important. Share client wins and testimonials. This is also how you do this, how you socially sell. If somebody sends you like a voice note, for instance, or a message where they're saying, "Thank you so much, you helped me with XYZ and these are the results I got," share that, because that's how you inform people that, hey, there are people that are actually enjoying and that are finding so much value from my products. Share that so much. Post educational content that drives a lot of frequently asked questions. What are the common questions people are asking you when they are engaging with you, so that you move past that hurdle of having to answer those questions. Create posts around them that helps people know what it is that they should be expecting when they are working with you. And then comment strategically on targeted clients and post to build visibility. Okay, commenting strategically is like if you post something and somebody, for instance, says, "Oh my God, this is so awesome. I definitely love this." And they haven't bought from you. Maybe you comment and say, "This is awesome. We would be willing to send you a package if you order within us, or we would do free shipping if you ordered in the next 24 hours," or DMing them and send them, "Hi, I just saw you said you loved XYZ and we've got 5 left available. Would you like us to send one your way? Here's a payment link." But it has to be comfortable. It has to be organic. It has to be in a way that, uses some of those follow-up strategies that I've just shared with you and those phrases to make sure that you're speaking to a client in a way that also doesn't make you feel pushy and desperate. Because when you feel pushy and desperate, the client is going to feel like you are actually pushy and desperate. So it is very important you curate sentences and conversations in a way that you internally, as you are engaging with them, makes you feel relaxed and makes you feel very professional. And this is how you're going to move over that hurdle as well. The fourth one is going to be consultative selling questions. This is something that a lot of people in the courses and coaching program used to do, where they say, "Come for a free discovery call." But sometimes you don't always have the liberty to have a free discovery call because either your customers don't have time, or the product that you're selling might not allow for that, or that's just not something you want to build into your model. But make sure that when you're engaging with the customer, you're being very consultative. So you're basically curating an experience that gives the idea or the perception of a consult, so you can get the right information that you need from them. So again, we are asking the right questions. That's how we consultatively sell. Okay, we are asking the right questions. What would be the ideal solution for you where this is concerned? What happens if this challenge isn't solved? We are engaging with the customer. It could be via text if that's what we're doing. It could be via phone call, but you're almost putting yourself in a position where you are consulting them, but consulting them towards buying and towards trusting you. And this is very, very important. And this path makes the client sell themselves, okay? It makes it so much easier for you to actually sell, but it also makes the client expose himself to you in a way that allows you to craft your solution into catering to their problem, which is very, very important. The fifth one is you're going to leverage on storytelling. I also mentioned this a little bit earlier. It's important to realize that stories sell. That's why movies, actors, actresses, and people in the content industry are making so much money, because they're leveraging on the ability to tell stories in so many different ways. So find ways to tell stories in your content. It could be via script. It could be you talking about how a client of yours got feedback. You didn't get to record it. You didn't get to mention it. I did that a little bit earlier as well to drive a certain point, but stories sell. So leverage on telling stories. And how you can structure these stories is you speak about the problem that they had and the struggle that the problem was causing, and then the breakthrough, which was the promise of what would happen, and then also the solution as well that you have, which then ties back to your offer. Very, very important. I would even say have signature stories that you'd be willing to tell at any stage, at any interview, at any difficult client, that allows you to show up as not only a thought leader, but somebody that understands the problem that people in your industry face and the solution that you also have, which is going to be very, very, very important. Okay. And then the sixth one actually, which is the last point that I'm going to share, is to close without being pushy. Now, all of these things, when we're following up and we're getting to communicate with the clients, the illusion is always they'll understand how valuable I am and then they'll just buy from me. Okay. Sometimes people don't. And one of the biggest ways to close a deal is to be able to mention your price in a calm way, in a sure way, and in a way that speaks about the value that comes with the price. So don't over explain how much you charge. Here's a sentence I'm going to give you that's going to even help you kind of get the person to start walking towards pay. So you want to say something along the lines of, if I could help you achieve the result that you want, and you must mention the result. Okay. Would you be open to the next session? Okay. Would you be open to, confirming the consultation date and amount so we can move forward? So that's how you are mentioning the price, and also just talking about what the next phase look like for them to transact with you in a way that is more valuable, in a way that is more comfortable, okay? Or saying something along the lines of, does this sound like it would solve your problem? So you say, we charge $8.99 for this specific thing. Does it sound like it would solve your problem? And if they say yes, you hand them over the card machine and they make the payment. If they say yes, you say, you please initial here for me, and we would be ready to start. But you have to do it in a way that is not pushy, and that doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. And you also have to be comfortable talking about your pricing and your value, because the honest truth is, you created that price not because you were chanting in the market or you were trying to be a sleazy salesperson, but because it truly is worth that much. If you're not even underpricing yourself, it truly is worth that much. So you need to embody that, and you need to wear that, and you need to be able to talk about that with pride, looking people straight in the eye without over explaining. Because if you've done the sale in the right way, you've created a great customer experience. You have also followed up in a way that is better. You've built the relationship. You've been asking the right questions. By the time we mention the price, the work is already almost fully done, and you're just closing the deal. And closing the deal should not feel hard. And a lot of people then want to go too hard in terms of closing the deal. And that's why we talk a lot about customer journeys, that your customer journey must allow you to get to a point where by the time you're closing the deal, you're actually getting to a part where the work has been finished, and this is the easy part of the things you're moving to, which is the last transaction, but you've warmed them up. It's great, okay? The time when the guy or the partner asks you to marry them is not the first date, is not when they're trying to convince you of their family. You've gone through that journey. And by the time the wedding ring or the ring comes, it's because they have this idea that this person is going to say yes because I've taken them through this journey. Think about your customers as the same thing. And you could be realizing that part of the biggest mistake you've been making is you've been trying to get them to marry you on the first date, when you haven't even brought them through this journey that's going to help them understand you better, trust you better, so that by the time you bring the ring and you say, spend 100,000 with me, they are fully committed to trusting this process and your value and how you're going to help them and how you're going to be of value in their life. So this is very, very important. If you're somebody who's looking for community, we've been talking about this, come and join us at the Membership Hub, the Resonate Plus Membership Club. We've got a platform where we've got a lot of global entrepreneurs there. We host masterclasses, thought leadership sessions. We network with each other. We help you validate your ideas. There's resources in there. There is videos. All sorts of things that are going to help you grow are found on that platform. It is $20 on a monthly basis, and all of this is automated. So come along, help us, not help us. You don't need your help. What am I saying? Whew. So come along and join us, and it'll be such a pleasure and an honor to walk through this entrepreneurship journey where we give you all of this information and more, and tools and templates and discounts to certain things that we're doing. But I hope that this conversation has been absolutely valuable to you, and that you've enjoyed it, and that you're going to apply it, and it's going to change something. I would love to bump into one of you at an event or at a space, or to interface with you in life somewhere and hear of how such content and such videos change the trajectory of your business and change how you do things and change your financial standing in your business and in your personal life. And with that said, thank you for tuning in. We hope that you enjoyed it. We'll see you guys on our next podcast episode. Goodbye.